Good morning. My name is Jim Hacker, and I am the chair of the Albany Law School Board of Trustees, and I want to welcome everyone to Albany Law School's 167th commencement. Congratulations to the class of 2018. At this time, I'd like to invite Alexander Lowe, class of 2018, to the podium, and he will sing the national anthem. Andrew. Alexander. Alex, go get him.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave? for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Outstanding. Thank you, Alex. Please be seated. As chair of the board, it's my privilege to say a few brief remarks and to welcome all of you to this ceremony. I graduated from Albany Law School sometime between the invention of fire and the invention of the fax machine. A much younger version of myself walked across this stage quite a long time ago, and I was trying to remember what I can still recall about that day. And I'm sad to say I do not recall my commencement speaker. I'm sorry, Judge Garcia. I have absolutely no clue who the chairman of the Board of Trustees was. And I even looked at my diploma and I can't read his or her signature, so I still don't know. But there's two distinct things I do remember. The first is I remember that I had a tremendous headache from the well party the evening before. And for those of the audience that don't know what I'm talking about, ask, you're a graduate. And the other thing I remember is I remember 4 of my childhood friends drove here to Saratoga to watch the ceremony and cheered from the balcony when I got my diploma. And I'm pretty sure they showed up because they had to confirm that I actually had gone to law school and actually graduated. But most of all, they came because graduating from law school is a big deal. We remember our high school graduation, but high school, let's face it, it was easy. College was fun. It was. Law school is hard. And sometimes the hardest types of things, they mean the most. So today's a big day. You will remember it. You will look back. You did it. On to the bar exam. So at this time, I would like to turn the ceremony over to the Dean and the President of Albany Law School, Alicia Ouellette.
Thank you, everybody. My place here. Congratulations and welcome to all of you. Class of 2018, you did it. We did it. We started together, and now you're really my class. So this is a very, very happy day. I want to welcome a few special people. I want to recognize the legacy families who are here today. Albany Law School alumni and alumni who have a son, daughter, grandchild, sibling, niece, or nephew graduating today. We appreciate all of your support. In addition to our esteemed faculty and members of the Board of Trustees who are here with me on the stage, I'd like to take a moment to recognize a special guest in our audience, Judge Victoria Graffio, class of 1977. Judge Graffio, out there somewhere. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge some of the members of the Albany Law School family who are no longer with us. This past year, the law school community mourned the passing of Professor Peter Prizer and John Higgins, class of 1989. We are grateful for what they contributed to the law school. They were true friends, and we will miss them. So, graduates, when you started, on your first day of law school. Your ages range from 19 to 50-something. You now all can drink legally. Glad to say that. You came from all over the country and abroad. You attended 65 undergraduate schools, and you represent several dozen majors. You have graduate degrees. Many of you are parents. Many more of you are parents than when you started. You are firefighters, black belts, immigrants, caretakers, and sole breadwinners. Many of you are legacy students. One of you is the 8th Albany Law School student across 3 generations, including both grandfathers. Many more of you are first in your family to graduate from law school. Many of you are first in your family to graduate from college. How proud your families must be right now, as they should be. You will soon use your degree to do amazing things in the world. You will be the voice of the disempowered, inspirational leaders, and champions for justice. You will represent clients, advocate for causes, solve thorny legal problems, and create thoughtful policy. The world needs you more now than ever. With your knowledge and skills, your Albany Law School degree, you are ready to speak up, speak out, listen to those with whom you disagree, solve problems, and use law to fight the good fight. You each have what it takes, the knowledge and the skills and good judgment to effect justice. I know that many of you have different views about what justice means and how to reach it. You've certainly made that clear this past year. But I have faith that with you advocating for your view of justice, with you using the law on behalf of your clients, your business, and in the public service, you have the most promising tools in your grasp, and you will make this world a better place. So today we celebrate. You earned it, and you'll celebrate again many times in your careers, and we want to be with you when that happens. This is just the beginning. But we know that there's a little thing you got between now and the big celebration, the bar exam. We know that this is the hardest endurance test you're going to face in your life, preparing for the bar exam. You know what you need to do. You're ready. You have the tools. And we're here for you, all of us on the stage today. We are here for you when you need a push, you need support, you need a hug, or substantive help. You're not alone. And you've got your families with you and your loved ones. I want to take just a second to talk to your families and loved ones. Your graduates have asked me to speak to you a bit about the next 10 or so weeks in which they will be preparing for the bar exam. Your graduate has much to celebrate. Your graduate is also facing the hardest, most intense challenge of their professional careers. They need your support, and the best way to support them is to understand that for the next 10 weeks, they need to be selfish. And I say this as a mother of adult children, so I know how hard it is to hear that they need to be selfish, but it's true. They need to have an absolute and singular focus on studying for the bar exam nearly every waking hour of almost every single day until the end of July. So yes, they need to unplug from social media. Yes, they need to work on weekends. No, they can't take the weekend off to visit Aunt Sally or cover a shift in the family business. Please encourage them to study. Please feed them and love them and forgive them their grumpiness. They will be grumpy, I promise. It's part of this grueling 10 weeks. But you can be a part of their success so that you, we, and they can celebrate the ultimate victory when they pass the bar exam and are admitted to practice. We only want them to do this once, one and done, and with your support, they can do that. We're in this together. And I'm jumping ahead, and we'll get back to celebration now, because today is really about celebration. And it's a tremendous achievement to get to this point. It's the result of hundreds of intense, hard, focused work. Members of the class of 2018, remember when you showed up for law school, you probably didn't know what F3rd meant or what summary judgment was or what the rule against perpetuities was. These things now roll off your back. You still don't know? Professor Bloom. You do. You will by July. For one day, you gotta have it. You've come so far, you've learned and accomplished so much, and you have so much to be proud of. We've seen you grow into emerging professionals ready to make a difference in the world, and we're thrilled to have been with you along the way on this incredible journey. So go out and make Albany Law School proud. Make your families proud. Stay in touch. We expect great things. With that, I want to remind you that although today is about you, it's also about the people who made this day possible. Throughout the event, we will recognize people, faculty, alumni, staff, your classmates, and others. There are always people who are pulling you up, lending a hand, and supporting you along the way. So today is about you, but it's also about a great Albany Law School tradition of looking back, giving back, and acknowledging those who have made the difference along the way. So let's start now. I'm going to ask the class of 2018, could you stand up, turn around, and face the audience. The parents, grandparents, friends, siblings, spouses, partners, and children before you have supported you throughout your law school journey. They've experienced with you your fears and anxieties, celebrated your triumphs, and loved you throughout. Class of 2018, please acknowledge and show your appreciation for your families and loved ones. All right, please be seated. So now it's an Albany Law School tradition to honor some of the people who made a difference every day in the lives of make a difference every day in the lives of our students, our faculty. Each year at commencement, Albany Law School gives 3 separate awards to recognize outstanding faculty for their contributions in service, scholarship, and teaching. The recipients don't know who they are, so this is a good moment for our faculty. I'd like to invite last year's awardees to present the awards in their distinct category. Professor Sarah Rogerson will present the Faculty Award for Service, Professor Christine Chung will present the Faculty Award for Teaching, and Professor Ray Brescia will present the Faculty Award for Scholarship. Come on up.
Good morning. The Excellence in Service Award is given to a faculty member who has made a significant contribution to the welfare of the law school. This year, the award goes to a faculty member who works with people in the community who are typically experiencing deep distress, challenged by legal barriers. Her warm and caring personality positions her as a consistent source of information, advice, and counsel. She does this work graciously and empathetically. On campus, you know she is doing something right when 32 students requested her for their academic advisor this year. She also serves as advisor to Master of Social Work joint degree students. Further, she worked with a number of external organizations such as the Switzerland-based Laws Journal, the Widener Law Journal on Symposium Planning, and as a peer review for submission to Addleton Publishers' Journal of Research in Gender Studies. I am honored to announce the Faculty Award for Excellence in Service to Melissa Brieger.
Students describe this year's winner of our Award for Faculty Excellence in Teaching as a master of his subject, eager to share everything he knows and passionately committed to his students' success and learning. One student said, for example, the way he cites the exact language and page numbers of provisions we discuss in class so casually is something that you must experience to believe, because it is truly amazing. Another student, a group of students in nominating this professor wrote that if there were a New York practice 3, we might just stay for one more semester, which tells you everything you need to know. Graduates have for years credited this professor for their bar success and for their mastery of this difficult and demanding subject. Please join me as we together congratulate the 2018 Faculty Excellence in Teaching awardee, Professor Pat Connors.
Good morning. Congratulations to you and your families. I'm here to present the Faculty Award for Excellence in Teaching. It is said that the U.S. is in scholarship. Excuse me. We just did the teaching. There we go. I'm sorry. Back to the prepared remarks. It's said that the U.S. is a nation of laws, and as such, law schools play a vital role in society. One of the many roles that law schools play is to be a place where we generate ideas about those laws. And those ideas are embedded in the scholarship that the faculty and students generate while they're here. For these reasons, we honor a member of the faculty each year for excellence in scholarship. A recipient of this year's Excellence in Faculty Scholarship Award is one of our faculty's most prolific, reliable, and impactful scholars. In addition to co-authoring a widely used practice-based casebook, this year's recipient has published at least 16 articles since 2000, with placements including the premier peer-reviewed health law journal, the American Journal of Law and Medicine, as well as the Annals of Health Law and the American Journal of Bioethics, among many other prestigious journals. But her work is so much more than her job. It is her passion, and the quality and breadth of her work makes that clear. This work is not just creative and insightful, it is also impactful. In particular, her recent work on organ donations has literally been a game changer. It has altered the paradigm and lens through which bioethicists look at this issue the world over. It is for these reasons that the school honors and confers on Evelyn Tenenbaum the 2018 Excellence in Faculty Scholarship Award.
Congratulations to all our faculty winners. You can see by the reception the students give that we love our faculty, right? We're lucky. You guys are great. So I now have the pleasure and honor of conferring the degree of Honorary Doctor of Laws to two extraordinary people. The first one will be awarded posthumously to Alexander Hamilton and accepted by Douglas Hamilton, the fifth great-grandson of Alexander Hamilton. As you may know, Alexander Hamilton is one of our nation's founders, an author of the Federalist Papers, the nation's first Treasury Secretary, and a founder of a New York society that was instrumental in abolishing slavery in New York. Hamilton was also a talented and highly sought-after lawyer who left government service to engage in the private practice of law. What you may not know is that Alexander Hamilton did not have a law degree. In his time, people studied law as apprentices at the elbow of a practicing attorney, and they were largely self-taught. Alexander Hamilton studied law and studied on his own for the bar exam, like you all will, right here in Albany. Hamilton did not grow up with wealth. He was a hard worker, a brilliant writer. He was smart and talented and scrappy. In fact, he sounds like someone who would fit perfectly with you, the class of 2018.
Good day to my fellow New Yorkers. It is good to be here in Saratoga. You know, my father-in-law had a summer retreat out this way. In fact, I used to visit often with my beautiful Eliza. I see we are at some momentous ceremony. Albany Law School. Albany Law School? A school that teaches law? That is a novel thing. What a curious proposition. A school that teaches law. Unheard of where I came from. Sound like a sensible and worthy and, expensive endeavor. What was that? Why, yes, I am a lawyer. Trained by my father-in-law, General Schuyler. Admitted to the bar for the whole 6 months of self-study. Studied for it right here in Albany, New York. Maybe you and I have something in common. Seems I would have likely enrolled at the Albany Law School. I've had a fairly expedited path to my practice of law. In fact, I petitioned the court for an allowance to move forward quickly. And when they asked why, I stated, I was busy winning the war for independence. Working for George Washington, perhaps you heard of him? And the court promptly responded in my favor. In my whole life, I enjoy the practice of the law the most. There is so much you can do with this knowledge once you have acquired it. Albany, New York. So many memories. A town full of powerful people and so many individuals who aim for greatness, and some with high integrity, and many who have fallen quite short. Perhaps you might agree. Corruption is such an old song that we all can sing in harmony. Nowhere is it stronger than in Albany. This colony's economy is increasingly stalling. Honestly, that's why public service seems to be calling me. I will imagine public service might be calling many of you to practice the law in the public's interest. That is a noble undertaking, I assure you. But to practice the law in whatever form is also needed in this world. Practicing the law is a noble profession. I practiced the law. I practically perfected it. I've seen injustice in this world, and I have corrected it. Come on, you want to try that with me? Come on. I practiced the law, and I practically perfected it. Come on. I've seen injustice in this world, and I have corrected it. Come on, you can do better than that. I've seen injustice in the world, and I have corrected it. Stay with it. Persevere. You will find that the law is relevant and important no matter which century you live in. Oh, yes. My heartfelt congratulations on your graduation of your degree in law. If only it was possible for me to have a degree from the Albany Law School.
Well, General Hamilton, we may just be able to help you out and give you that law degree you so richly deserve. Many thanks to John Remy Monet of the Soul Rebel Performance Troupe for bringing Alexander Hamilton to life for us. Thank you. And now I would like the audience to join me in welcoming a real-life descendant of Alexander Hamilton, Douglas Hamilton, the 5th great-grandson of Alexander Hamilton. Please come up to the podium, Mr. Hamilton. Here you are. Mr. Hamilton, we are pleased and honored to have you here today to share this momentous occasion with our graduates. In recognition of your great-grandfather's legal study and work in the Albany region, as well as his contribution to our nation's enduring constitution and system of government, and by virtue of the authority vested by the Regents of the University of the State of New York in the trustees of Albany Law School, and by them and me, I confer upon Alexander Hamilton posthumously the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa with all the rights and privileges appurtenant thereto. Congratulations. Alexander Hamilton's law degree. So your law degree has Alexander Hamilton's. Share a law degree with Alexander Hamilton. How about that? Here you go.
Thank you.
All right, can we do a picture? Congratulations.
Good morning. Thank you very much. This is a very special honor for Alexander Hamilton. And now that he's, I guess, a classmate of yours, you could take that. That's pretty impressive. So what a great performance. That was excellent. Appreciated that. He's just cut down my words to about a minute and a half, so that's great. So as you now know, Alexander Hamilton attended King's College, and he never graduated due to the Revolutionary War. But after the war, he made haste for Albany, and in roughly 8 months, he graduated, or he qualified to practice law in front of the New York Supreme Court. And from that point on, for the rest of his life, every professional endeavor that he undertook was from a viewpoint of a lawyer. This was particularly evident when he and 33 other lawyers were part of the process in creating the most important document in our country's history, the United States Constitution. how great you all must feel to be engaged in this profession. For his actions, primarily as a practitioner of law, he's been recognized today by the Albany Law School. I can't think of a more appropriate institution to make this award to a man who for a time called Albany home and qualified in this city to practice law. On behalf of the Hamilton family, we appreciate your respect for Alexander Hamilton, and I wish all of you similar success to that of Hamilton in your pursuit of a career in law. Perhaps even a Broadway musical on your life is in your future. When putting together the comments for today, I quite unexpectedly came across this letter from 1795 written by Hamilton, and it really just literally dropped off the shelf in my hands. After having been honored by his friends, he wrote this letter, and the response to today's presentation would be very similar, I think, to the presentation 223 years ago. And the letter would go something like this. Dear Dean Willett, among the precious testimonies I have received of the approbation of my immediate fellow citizens, none is more acceptable or more flattering to me than that which I now acknowledge. I beg you to convey to the board the expression of my high sense of honor they have done me, as well as my sincere respect for themselves. With friendship and regard, I have the honor to be your very obedient servant, Alexander Hamilton. Congratulations to all of you, and thank you for the honor.
I now have the honor of conferring the degree of Honorary Doctor of Laws on another great New Yorker. Mr. Edward P. Swire is an incredibly successful entrepreneur and business person. Like our previous recipient, he's a founder in his own right. He had the vision and ambition to create Stuyvesant Plaza, a second downtown for the city of Albany. You can read about this and his many other achievements, some that span the globe, in the program. But we honor Mr. Swire today for far more than his business success. Mr. Swire is committed to creating opportunities for others to achieve the kind of success that he has achieved. He makes our community stronger, finding creative ways to support individuals who, like many of you, are first in their families to get an education, first to launch a business, and quick to give back to their communities. Ed Swire changes lives. Ed Swire creates opportunities, and he's done just that at Albany Law School. For many of you, a friend of the law school since his father built the law library in the 80s, and incidentally, I just learned that Mr. Swire's father also built this, SPAC. Really comes full circle. Mr. Swire has made a significant and lasting impact on the Albany Law School students, on our clinic and justice center, and in the lives of the clients served by our clinic. He believes in the power of law and the ways in which we can build and strengthen a community and give individuals opportunities to grow and thrive by providing free legal services, help with a growing business, and wise mentorship. For more than 20 years, Mr. Swire has supported Albany Law School's Louis A. Swire Academic Success Program. He's helped with the clinics that serve domestic violence victims. And 2 years ago, Mr. Swire and the Swire Family Foundation helped us establish the Community Development Clinic, where our students, several of you, provide free legal assistance to early-stage startup businesses and community organizations, helping clinics clients choose and form the appropriate entity, protect intellectual assets, access grant funding, audit employment policies, write contracts, and more. In the past year, the clinic has helped more than 90 businesses and business owners. These new businesses, in turn, have created jobs and contributed in immeasurable ways to our community. The Community Development Clinic's potential to transform our community for the better is exponential. Mr. Swire, could you please come to the podium? All right, here we go. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right. As the oldest independent law school in the nation, Albany Law School has had the distinction and good fortune to convey honorary degrees on some of the nation's leading jurists, attorneys, statesmen, and public policy leaders, including Secretaries of State John Foster Dulles, Henry Kissinger, members of Congress and Senate, former governors Mario Cuomo and George Pataki. You are now among their ranks. For your inspirational leadership in business, development of our community, and your commitment to Albany Law School, and by the virtue of the authority vested by the Regents of the University of the State of New York and the trustees of Albany Law School, and by them and me, I confer upon you, Mr. Edward P. Swire, the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa with all the rights and privileges appurtenant thereto. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Oh my God.
Okay.
Thank you, Dean Ouellette. Thank you to the Board of Trustees, faculty, the Albany Law School. Congratulations to the students graduating the class of 2018, my classmates. What a thrill this is to me, receiving an honorary degree with none other than Alexander Hamilton, and to share this experience with his great-great-great-grandson, Douglas Hamilton. Yeah. Standing here, this is an out-of-body experience. Receiving this honorary degree is the most implausible expectation. When I received Dean Ouellette's letter stating that the trustees had voted to honor me with an honorary degree, I stared at it in disbelief. I am humbled by this award. Our family's connection to the law school started in 1985, as the dean said, when my father's construction company, the L.A. Swire Company, broke ground for the Schaefer Law Library. The architectural firm was Mendel, Mesick, and Cohen, considered one of the finest in the country. The library was my father's crown jewel of buildings and his last major project. A few years after completion of the Schaefer Library, I met with Pat Rahan, Youngblood then, and Mary Dickerman, who I knew pretty well, and we launched the Louis A. Swire Academic Success Program. I often meet students that went through the program who say that mentoring by third-year students put them on the right path. The program has been around for so many years and has helped so many students that the Swire name became its own noun. For instance, I hear, I went through Swire. Now it's even morphed into a verb. I was swired. Sandra Tatum, who manages our foundation with me, has joined me in attending luncheons for years at the law school to meet the Swired students. Always a treat. It's hard to keep track of time, but we soon began discussions with Mary Lynch, Professor Lynch. Her enthusiasm was and still is infectious. You know what I mean? She and her associates introduced us to the Albany Law Clinic and Justice Center, now run by Dean Sarah Rogerson. I had pondered often with Sandy Tatum, Mary Lynch, and Sarah Rogerson, and others at the law school, what could be done to assist young folks who may have survived difficulties but want desperately to improve their lives. Most often, they needed to support a family member or more and have limited or no resources. Then the idea was born, let's put them in business. The Community Development Clinic was launched in 2016 when Edward D. Barbieri joined the law school faculty, devoting a majority of his time to the clinic. What an impressive, diligent, tireless leader who began operating the CDC with incredible enthusiasm. 6 months or so afterwards, David Kraft joined the clinic as the executive director. Almost immediately, he became indispensable, coaching students, working side by side with them with total care and devotion. The Community Development Clinic, with its outreach programs, provides pro bono presentations on operating business throughout the Capital District. It's popular with law students, I'm told, especially those inspired to making the world a better place. I believe this will pay dividends in 2 ways. One, lifting folks out of the poverty mindset by creating real optimism. Secondly, giving the Albany Law School an image of an institution that cares deeply for its community and is looked upon as a resource and partner. Providing pro bono assistance to young entrepreneurs with dreams and aspirations will ultimately strengthen our community as more individuals pursue big goals to control their own destiny. My association with Dean Ouellette and all the fine professors, the staff, and the students has brought me great joy, and it is incredibly rewarding. After all we've accomplished together, it really feels like family. Thank you for that, and thank you for this honor.
Welcome to the family. So next up, we get to be inspired even further with our commencement speaker. And I'm going to ask Emma Tyner, class of 2018, to introduce him. Emma is, after 5 semesters, our presumptive valedictorian, and our speaker is another valedictorian, and a great friend to the law school, one of our most esteemed graduates, Judge Michael Garcia. Emma, come on up, and you can do the introduction. Congratulations.
I feel very honored today to introduce one of our most accomplished past valedictorians, the Honorable Michael J. Garcia, Associate Judge of the New York Court of Appeals. We, as the class of 2018, are fortunate to have the opportunity to learn from Judge Garcia, who surely represents the very best of what a rigorous law school curriculum can produce. As law students, we face challenges at every turn. In and out of the classroom, we are tested in character, patience, curiosity, and energy. I believe that academic success carries merit in its own right, but our speaker today illustrates just how much our education can serve us beyond the 3 years of law school. When we commit ourselves sincerely to the task of our education, the task we have all just achieved, we too can find ourselves starting our practice of law in a prime position for success. Judge Garcia began his legal career as an associate at Cahill, Gordon, and Reindel in 1989. He then served for 3 years as a law clerk to one of the most well-remembered judges on the New York Court of Appeals, Judith S. Kay. Judge Garcia's path later led to his service as a U.S. Attorney, Assistant Secretary for Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and Vice President of the Americas for Interpol. These are only a few of the titles and honors he has had over the years. He was nominated and confirmed to the Court of Appeals in 2016, so he's been on the bench for most of our time in law school. I know that I and many of my fellow students have had the distinct privilege of watching Judge Garcia oversee oral arguments at the court. We've read his decisions, and today we get to hear him speak as one of our own. We have almost earned the right to call ourselves lawyers. We have almost earned that duty. When we reflect on hard work and worthy accomplishments, we should feel proud and also responsible. Lives will depend on our work. I think that few people understand that so well as a man who serves on New York's Court of Last Resort. Please join me in welcoming Judge Michael J. Garcia.
All right, I'm going to move the binder here, so I didn't bring my 3-hole punch. But thank you, Emma. That was really a very kind and generous introduction. Thank you, Dean, members of the faculty, of course, the Board of Trustees. But thank you, the class of 2018, for inviting me to speak with you here today. What I didn't tell the Dean when she extended your invitation to me was that I was really hoping to be asked to speak to you this year. And that was for a number of reasons. One, of course, you're the class of 2018, and what a great reputation you have. But two, I didn't want to speak last year and follow Megyn Kelly. That would have been bad. But I had another reason. As you heard, I graduated from law school in 1989, 29 years ago. So you think, well, why didn't I wait another year? It would have been good 30. I could have said when I was here 30 years ago. But I had a reason. And that's because of my favorite Albany Law School alumni, Robert H. Jackson, Justice Jackson, class of 1912. And I think that's an easy choice for Albany alum. Who's your favorite? In June of 1941, Justice Jackson, 29 years after his own graduation, returned to Albany to speak at commencement. And I'm sure he had a number of reasons for coming back as well. One, he had never been awarded a law degree from the law school. That's hard to believe, but he was too young. He was 21 when he graduated, and they didn't think he was old enough to get his degree, so the law school really had to set that right that year. And you think, wow, how could that happen? But then you think Alexander Hamilton waited 200 years for his Albany degree, so that's all right. But I don't mean in any way to suggest by this really striking, if admittedly somewhat strained, coincidence with the time interval between my graduation and my appearance here at this commencement address, that I'm here in the role of Justice Jackson. Nobody could do that. But I wanted to take as a cue, as an opportunity, to pay tribute to what a great speech Jackson gave with really a timeless message, all the more striking because he made it at that time and in this place. Jackson returned to Albany at a really auspicious time in his own career. He was Attorney General. Now he had a law degree. They could put him on the Supreme Court in a few months. And he came back to a place where he not only learned law, as we all do, but he married, he met his wife, he married here, and he perfected his legal skills in part by arguing before the New York Court of Appeals. So it was an important place and an important time for Jackson. But of course, it was also a time of crisis. It was June 1941, and Europe is engulfed in a world war. It's almost exactly 6 months to the day before Pearl Harbor, and that attack brings the United States into that terrible conflict. And addressing a class that's about to go into that kind of storm, Jackson does 3 things. First, he tells that graduating class that unlike his class in 1912, that class is clear-eyed about the challenges of the future. His class, Jackson believed, had this attitude that law could subdue violence. But he said the world that we dreamed we were living in gave us little preparation for the kind of world we soon waked up in. And that reality for Jackson included a First World War, the crushing economic collapse of the late 20s, the Great Depression, and then a bigger world war. But I don't really think Jackson believed that the class of 1941 was any less idealistic than his own, or indeed any 9 of the prior graduating classes, or for that matter, any of the 75 or so since. In my year, 1989, we were a few months away from the fall of the Berlin Wall. There was talk about a peace dividend. And when I went out to practice law, I went to be a federal prosecutor. And beginning in 1993 with the World Trade Center bombing case, we successfully prosecuted case after case of terrorism, and we believed we could subdue terrorism with the rule of law, that our criminal code with extraterritorial application could address that global threat. And then came 9/11 and wars in Afghanistan and Iraq and a Great Recession, challenges that soon woke us up. But Jackson knew it's good to dream. There's value in it, and each class wakes soon enough. But second, after reassuring them that they were realists, that they could accept what was coming, Jackson outlines the clear danger that's ahead, the horrific nature of the Nazi regime, and the threat it posed to world order. We can all agree this was in so many ways a unique threat that those graduates would face. But challenges with the potential to become full-blown crises are always there, waiting. Rising international tensions, global trade and immigration issues, mounting internal economic challenges that will at some point in the not-too-distant future demand serious attention, and a general unease perhaps today, or an apprehension about the future and our ability to unite over or even agree upon an approach for the common good. Always, there are serious issues on the near horizon, demanding from you a mature and thoughtful approach. In 1941, these challenges were unprecedented and imminent. And third, after making these points about being clear-eyed in the face of the impending crisis, Jackson, and I think here he really shows true greatness, tells the graduates, the next few years may look grim and drab to my generation, but you must have the eyes to see the world beyond these difficult times. And he proceeds to lay out his ideas about the post-World War landscape. This is 1941, and the rule of law and the reconstruction of a peacetime society for this country, for the world. In essence, he lays out the principles of what will become the Nuremberg Tribunal, and as part of that, the great unfinished task of world organization to substitute reason for force. To substitute reason for force. And 5 years later, Jackson stands up in the well of the courtroom in Nuremberg as chief prosecutor and using language nearly identical to that in his commencement address, describes the trial proceedings as one of the most significant tributes power has ever paid to reason. It is probably the most quoted line in his much-quoted opening for that trial, and he previewed it here. But he urges the graduates that day to look even further than that, to look decades ahead, to a world, he says, in which their skills and their legal training mean nothing, absolutely nothing, is impossible. He is giving them hope and reassurance that what they have learned, what they will practice, will shape a better world. That is the training in the law that you have, and with it, the same opportunity that you use that experience, that learning, that skill, to establish new legal processes, to meet changing global realignments, to adapt our legal systems to issues we can only try to anticipate, and in doing so, to preserve the legal model's essential integrity. That's the hope for every law school class, that you take with you the essentials of what, despite its flaws, is the finest legal model, the finest model the world has known, the one Jackson took to Nuremberg, the one you now become part of, and become responsible for. So dream your dreams today. No matter that the world you wake up in tomorrow may be something different. And for tomorrow, whatever hard road we may travel together for a while, you must try to see beyond it, to look decades beyond it, or at least 29 years. And for that journey, I leave you with a paraphrase of Justice Jackson's benediction to the class of 1941. May you never falter in the faith that a better world order can be established, and that you, the 167th graduating class from this historic law school, can lead the way to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge Garcia. What a wonderful tribute to Justice Jackson, and what inspirational words for the class of 2018. Thank you. So now, for the part we've all been waiting for, the conferring of the degrees. I'd like to invite Chair Hacker to the center podium, Dean Mayer to the side podium, as well as our faculty hooders to take their places. Quick word about our hooders. Professor Christine Chung learned last night that she has been promoted to full professor. Professor Rob Heverly learned last night that he has been promoted to associate professor with tenure. And Professor Pat Connors has been voted friend of the class.
Dean Mayer? Where are you? Oh, there.
Yes,
Perfect.
I'm here. I'm ahead of you. It is now my honor to present the candidates for the LLM degree. Would the LLM candidates please stand? Chair Hacker, for conferring of the LLM degrees, I present these candidates.
Thank you, Dean. Under the authority vested by the Regents of the University of the State of New York and the trustees of Albany Law School, and by them and me, I declare that the Masters of Law and Letters degree that you are about to be rewarded are rightfully and duly conferred upon successful completion of all degree requirements, and they convey to the worthy men and women on whom they are conferred all the rights and privileges and obligations due the academic community. Please come forward.
Jacqueline N. Goralczyk. Marco Licata. Paola S. Wong. Chair Hacker, it is now my distinct honor to present the candidate for the MSLS degree. Would the MS candidate please stand? Chair Hacker, for conferring of the MS degree, I present this candidate.
Thank you, Dean. You got some fans out there. All right. Under the authority vested by the Regents of the University of the State of New York and the trustees of Albany Law School, and by them and me, I declare that the Master of Science in Legal Studies degree that you are about to be rewarded is rightfully and dutifully conferred upon the successful completion of all degree requirements, and they convey to the worthy man on whom it is given all the rights and privileges that are immorally due the academic community. Please come forward.
David Owusu. It is now my distinct honor to present the candidates for the Juris Doctor degree. Members of the class of 2018, please stand. Chair Hacker, I present you the Albany Law School class of 2018.
Thank you, Dane. Under the authority vested by the Regents of the University of the State of New York and the trustees of Albany Law School, and by them and me, I declare that the Juris Doctor degrees about to be awarded are rightfully and dutifully given to you upon the successful completion of all degree requirements, and they convey to the worthy men and women on whom they are conferred all the rights, privileges, and obligations due the academic community. Row A, would you please move forward? The remaining rows can be seated until your row is called. Thank you.
Annalise Ray Aliaso. Nadia S. Alirahi. Patrick E. Antonikowski. Caitlin R. Balsamico. Anthony Bargnesi. Allison Elizabeth Bartlett. Alice's diploma will be presented by her father, the Honorable George R. Bartlett III, class of 1977. Sarah D. Baum. Stephen Bennett. Rachel D. Burnsweg. Sarah A. Besson. Michael Angelo Blaise III. Is Kathleen here? Kathleen Bach? Kristen L. Caliaris. Diploma presented by Dean Rosemary Queenan. Kathleen M. Bach. I missed her. Anne E. Cantwell. Diploma presented by Professor Ira Bloom. Savannah Taylor Chinsky. Andrew J. Christian. Aaron Clark. Amanda Cole. Sarah Emily Joanna Collier. Adriel Fermin Colon Casiano. Anthony G. Cove. Taylor Christian Cuomo. Dina M. DeFazio. Dina's diploma will be presented by Dean Rosemary Queenan. Alicia Jordan D'Amelio. Sean K. Duhaney in absentia. Patrick Dupre. Stephen R. Ingracia. Megan M. Fleming. Nicole Anastasia Foster and family. Nikki's diploma will be presented by Professor Pam Armstrong. Amy Fournier. Robert L. Franklin. Harrison Liang-Yu Fu. Congratulations. Reynard F. Gagnon, Jr. Olivia Ann Gallagher. Benjamin D. Gold. Diploma presented by Professor Christine Chung. Christopher I. Hall. Christopher's diploma is being presented by Adam Lonsberry, class of 2008. Kimberly M. Hanson Felton. And baby. Robert J. Heffernan. Mandy T. Heller. Kaylee C. Henderson. Alana Hughes. Michelle R. Hutchins. Nitin N. Joshi in absentia. Aaron E. Kilmer. Diploma presented by Professor Evelyn Tenenbaum. Michael A. Labalita. Daniel Lay. Kimberly Livingstone. Alexander Iremia Loy. Diploma presented by Dean Rosemary Queenan. Silas R. Martell Crawford. James A. McCauley. Connor McKiernan. Stephanie Minnerly and son. Philip J. Monty. Maria Morrissey. Ryan J. Murphy. Samantha Annette Murphy. Bradley Christopher Murray. Bradley's diploma is being presented by Professor Ira Bloom. Grace E. Nealon. Kara M. Nelson in absentia. Emmett J. Nichols. Courtney L. Noyce. Eric Michael O'Brien. Elizabeth A. O'Reilly. Alyssa Fain Otis and son. That's so cute. Claire F. Parham and family. Niket M. Patel. Olivia B. Peterson. Wayne Perry. Jenna M. Petagrosso. Matthew V. Picarillo. Brandon D. Piskin. Crystal J. Potter. Matthew T. Quinones. Maxwell C. Radley. Carl E. Raffa. Diploma presented by Professor Evelyn Tannenbaum. Charlotte W. Rafus. Charlotte's diploma is being presented by her father, Stephen J. Rafus, class of 1985. Corey S. Reisman. Wesley M. Renee. Justin A. Reyes. So sorry. Justin's diploma is being presented by Robin Weinman, class of 1986. Grace Yunmi Ree. Linnea E. Regal. Andrew S. Rivera. Melissa Lynn Robustello. Alyssa R. Rodriguez. Alyssa's diploma is being presented by Dean Rosemary Queenan. Gabriela A. Romero. Amanda Rosenberg. Amanda's diploma is being presented by Lisa Ogden, class of 2003. Raquel G. Sadler. And beautiful mom. Diploma being presented by the Honorable Christina Reba, class of 2001. Michael G. Sardo. Andriana M. Sarkis. Blake C. Saunders. Marissa Catherine Schatzel. Kayla Scully. Orialui Shinbore. Danielle Siegel. Darian J. Smith. Ashley Marie Solomon. Rhiannon I. Spencer. Diploma presented by Professor Deborah Mann. Daniel C. Speranza. Tyler Stacy. Sydney Irene Taylor. Diploma presented by Professor Evelyn Tannenbaum. Emma Lynn Tyner. Erica Toomey. Paul T. Upton. Efren Vera. Jacob D. Verschero. Michelle Harley Walton. Eric James Weinhold. Dalton F. Wheeler. Candace Canty Williamson. Kadeem Wollaston. Patrick Vincent Wood. Michael Woodward. Tyler D. Wiest. And one of my favorite students, Emmanuel Zamor. Congratulations to the class of 2018. Good luck, you guys.
That was great. It's now my pleasure to introduce Daniel Speranza. He's the president of the class and alumni of 2018. Dan? He's got to fix his hood. Attaboy.
Hello, everyone. First, let me start by thanking family, friends, deans, faculty, staff, the Board of Trustees, anyone else who has helped us along this journey. I'm up here, so I'll throw a special shout out to my mom and dad. I love you both. I wouldn't be walking across the stage without all that you've done for me. Thank you. To Mr. Swire and Mr. Hamilton, I think I speak for all of us when I say we appreciate your kind words. Thank you. I'd like to thank Judge Garcia, not only for his advice and guidance today, but for his continued dedication to Albany Law School. There's something to be said about showing up to an event on a Wednesday night at school and being able to mingle with a sitting Court of Appeals judge, let alone a man of his reputation and integrity. Your commitment to the betterment of the next generation of attorneys has not gone unnoticed. Thank you, Your Honor. To Dean Ouellette, she was inaugurated as president and dean of the law school during our first year, and we were the first class that she saw all the way through from start to finish. By all accounts, she's done a terrific job at the helm. I'm looking forward to the continued growth and advancement of Albany Law School under her leadership. Please join me in one more round of applause for Dean Ouellette. All right. So my first order of actual business is to announce the friend of the class of 2018. The friend of our class is Professor Patrick Connors. While I unfortunately was never able to take a class with Professor Connors, I was able to attend the New York practice program he put on after finishing his book this semester. From just those few hours, I was able to see the passion for the law and his clear love of teaching. His ability to keep an audience engaged and keep students and attorneys on their toes is unparalleled. I watched him cold call Mr. Hacker a few times, which was entertaining, albeit a little unnerving because I thought we were done with that after law school. I reached out to a few of my classmates and they offered some kind words that I will share with you. Professor Connors is not only the leading scholar in New York practice, but he is also a true teacher. He teaches each class with contagious enthusiasm and passion that spreads to everyone in the room. He is thoughtful and cares about our success. He is willing to do anything to help students achieve their potential. I can say I have never had a better classroom experience than in Professor Connors' New York practice class. It is hard to put into words how much I have gained from his teaching. Another student told me to mention that Professor Connors always says there are 3 things you need in order to be a successful attorney. You need to show up, you need to be on time, and you need to be prepared. However, his other bit of advice may be the most important, not only in the legal field, but in life generally. Leave time for trouble. His love of horse racing, Chuck Berry, and his poodle Theo, his energy despite typically being fueled only by a decaffeinated Diet Coke, and his deep devotion to teaching all play into why he is a deserving recipient of this award. One student I asked summed all of this up by saying, Pat Connors is the man. So without further ado, please join me in a round of applause for the 2018 friend of the class, Professor Patrick Connors.
I'd like to recognize another friend of the class who has given me so much support in my classroom, in the teaching, preparing outlines, and in my writing, Teresa Colbert. All right. Thank you, Teresa. Daniel unfortunately stole a part of my speech.
I also have to announce the class gift. So thank you to all of those who have donated to our legacy fund over the last 3 years, and thank you for voting this year. We're supporting a green energy initiative and putting solar-powered charging stations in the courtyard so more students can enjoy that space. So thank you for that. In my final, my last minutes up here, I just wanted to say how much of an honor it was to have been your classmate. I look forward to having the privilege of working with you all as colleagues. As I was trying to figure out what to say today, one word kept bouncing around my head, and that was legacy. Now, I'd like to say I know most of you pretty well, whether that's from the Section 4 days, class, SBA, journal, or banging our heads together on the rugby pitch. And I'm excited for the legacy that our class is going to build. I'm excited for all of us. I can't wait to see the careers we make for ourselves and the different roads we navigate once we go our separate ways. One thing is for certain, though. No matter where we go or what we do, we will all be connected by our time at Albany Law School. We're all forever part of the Albany Law family. And that connection is what has allowed us to call this place home for the last few years. So thank you. I love you all. Congratulations.
Thank you, Dan. It's a wonderful legacy from your class. I'd like to present to you folks the President of the National Alumni Association, Mr. Patrick Jordan, who's the class of 2002. Patrick?
Thank you, Chairman. And Pat's right, we were all here actually early today, and some of us are prepared. I might be less prepared than you are. I'm also here to collect your union dues, since you're now all registered alumni of the law school. But seriously, let me tell you how proud I am of you and honored to be part of this ceremony. And now the second person to officially welcome you into our ranks of alumni, which are now up to roughly 11,000 alumni scattered across the country. Thank you very much for everyone's words today. Judge, thank you for your nice speech, and hopefully all of you take that to heart. Hopefully not for another 3 months, because as you keep hearing, and as we say every year, you've got 3 more very important months. This is your, unfortunately, last weekend of freedom. As alumni, we're counting on you to do well, to pass this test. It is the hardest test you'll ever take. One and done, just like the dean said. It's very important for us. It's important for your careers. You reflect on your class. You reflect on the recent alumni. You reflect on everyone who's sitting up here, and we're all pulling for you. Your Alumni Association is here to hopefully be a backbone for your studies this summer, for your future in this very noble profession. Like I said, 11,000 strong, 49 out of 50 states, almost every major city in the country. Your alumni sit in the Court of Appeals, 2 of them currently. That's amazing. They run the law school. They are the Board of Trustees, almost all composed of alumni. Currently, the mayors of Troy, Rochester, Albany, our own Mayor Sheen, a fellow trustee, and not to mention the governor of the state of New York. So while Judge Garcia talked about Justice Jackson, and we can talk about President McKinley, we currently have a legacy to be proud of. All these people built on what Justice Jackson worked for. All these people that you can look to today to mold your career, to be better people, to be better attorneys. Look to them, look to all these other alumni that you're going to see in your career. I've been out for 16, 17 years now, and there isn't a week that goes by that I don't connect with fellow alumni, ask them questions, help that I need in my practice. Probably every month, talking to Professor Connors, Professor Rahan, Professor Pratt, all these professors that were there before me, and they're still teaching you. They, along with other professors, are giants in the legal community. You should be honored and privileged that you were able to be taught by the people that have taught for decades, who write the books that other law schools are reading and buying. You got to learn from them face to face. That's something I think about regularly, that these professors cared so much about us, and I know they care so much about you. And as the dean said at the beginning, come back to the law school. Say hi to these professors. Come back and mentor the next students. You are in the best position. Everyone up here does their best to mentor. You are in the best position to mentor next year's 1Ls and maybe even the current 2Ls. Maybe you've been doing that this year. So come back often, share your experiences. Your success, your experiences are our success. We want to share in your joys. We want to be a part of your future in this profession. I am grateful to be up here again this year. I'm probably talking longer than I was supposed to. Chairman Hacker said it's just me and then you get to party. So I'm in that unenviable position. But thank you. Congratulations, class of 2018. We look forward to you passing the bar, and we look forward to big things from you in the years to come.
Thank you, Pat. I want to make sure everyone's invited to, there's a brief reception up at the Hall of Springs. It's located directly behind the amphitheater. I'd ask you to remain in your seats during the recessional. As chair of the Board of Trustees, it's my privilege to close out these ceremonies and declare them completed. Thank you.